Alright, so I got a black hook guide size large, a micro tube. Make that connection, so just pushing the hook guide over the port. And that's about the extent of that. We'll start some thread. And again, this is just for kind of summer steelhead fishing on into the fall and winter. This is a great fly this time of year, August, September, and October, midday if you want to keep fishing. It's not big and monster like an intruder. You can still fish it on your Scandi. You can switch to a Skagit if you want to. It'll have just enough weight on it to sink it. We're just going to put just a little teaser of dubbing to go in front of that bump on the micro tube. And that little plastic bump right here just keeps you from tying too far back so you can make the connection. And we'll start with the tail to help keep it riding proper. These are just a couple of pieces of golden pheasant crest. Blue-eared pheasant dyed orange. There's a bunch of ways you can put this in. You could go from front to back, kind of traditional palmered style. I'm going to run this from the back tip first. And essentially just follow a rib. The dubbing we're using today is just a peacock colored ice dubbing. Super easy to dub with. Give a nice sparkly effect in the water. And this pattern is something that I know works on fish, but I don't think this is something that you have to follow exactly. I mean, feel free to change up the colors to red and purple, or purple and blue, or blue and black, or whatever you feel confident catching fish with. You'll see it's a fairly short-bodied fly too. Once you tie a couple of these things, you'll find it really easy and quick to tie. Okay, there's the orange. I'm going to throw in a couple of, this is actually ostrich, not rhea. It's just real fine select ostrich. It's going to be a little black cape and then feed into some blue. $10 to 12 pieces. I'll try to hit these so they cover 90 degrees over here, the same over there. You'll see how we can get these guys to flare out a little bit. Two loose wraps. Just get in there with your thumb and forefinger and just watch them splay as you put a little pressure on them. There we go. Getting this ostrich up over the fly about 180 degrees is also going to kind of act as the wing and something to grab to keep the fly righted, so it's mainly a fly that's tied in the round. This will keep it from laying on the side or rolling in the water. It's good. We'll put a few locking wraps. Kingfisher blue slopping. And that's going to go underneath some guinea just to highlight the guinea a little bit. Bend those fibers a little so they like to lay back wet fly style. Starting to look like a fly, huh? That's a blue-dyed guinea. If you guys prefer a real sparse summer steelhead fly, you can go with that blue-eared pheasant and strip one side. You can strip one side of the slopping, you can strip one side of the guinea. I'm just going to tie it in a little more full. Final material we're going to put on here. This is a Pro Sport Fisher product. This is extra small and it's called Pro JC. So just to give it a little bit of contrast, I'm going with this instead of flash. You can put a couple pieces over, you can do an underwing of flash, you can do lots of different things to brighten up this fly, but I think this contrast is going to give the appearance of movement. So just 2 wraps on one side, 2 wraps on the other. Check and make sure they're even. pretty good. Now to lock these guys down and finish the head, we'll use a little Zap-A-Gap. I don't know where I learned this trick, but it works great. Just dab a little of that down the thread. Give it a second to dry, and then while that's happening, I'll cut those little tabs out. So we'll get rid of the thread. That's not going to come undone, it's all zapped together. And the last thing I like to do for a finish, like I said, we want to maybe, take your traditional herring fly off. If the sun's on the water, you're going to put a sinking poly leader on, maybe a light sink tip, some T8. And this fly is just designed to have just enough weight to sink it, so it's a couple inches down to a foot to allow the stuff to move. So I put a little bit of zap on there, spin that around. And this is our ultrasonic disc, which is the brass version with chromate color of our soft disc, which was out first. So we'll let that sit for a second. Razor blade. So I'm going to remove this away from the camera for a second, cut it close. Okay, so those razor blade cuts instead of scissor cuts, they just cut the tube really cleanly. This little scrap is something that I want to not throw away and save. There's a lot of stuff I can do with that. And from here, just add a little heat to it and burnish the front of the tube. Doesn't take a lot. Okay, so there's a finished fly. Hook guide's ready to go. I've got my weight. Everything's ready to fish. You slip that on a tippet and then grab your favorite hook. This one happens to be an Owner SSW. They also make a great hook, a little bit lighter wire called a Mosquito. Gamakatsu makes them, B10Ss, split shot, drop shot. There's a few good mustads out there, but take your hook of choice. Slip the fly on the tippet, tie a clinch knot, improved clinch knot, pull it in the back, or a non-slip loop if you want to ride a little further back. And there you go. If it's inside the hook guide, it has no leverage. The fish doesn't really have any leverage. If you tie it on a non-slip loop and leave it back here, the hook guide will just stiffen the monofilament so it doesn't foul on snap T setups and that kind of stuff. Either way, it works great with the Pro Tube system. And there you go. Let me put that guy back together and we'll give you a good look at the finished product. And thanks for stopping by Northwest Fly Fishing Outfitters and taking a look.